A high-speed police chase in the San Gabriel Valley began with a shooting in Azusa.
Correct lanes, but that was a very close call, almost T-boning some cross traffic there. We've noticed in the last couple of seconds running several red lights. Again, speeds upwards of 70 miles per hour on Arrow Highway. He was on the 210 for some time. That is where they would like to see it go back onto the freeway. In the meantime, he is driving very dangerously. Unclear how many people are inside that vehicle, but there are several, and they are believed to be armed and dangerous as this pursuit continues. As of right now, Azusa PD back in pursuit. Pasadena was taking part at one point, and California Highway Patrol following from up above. Is that right, Mitch? California Highway Patrol still up here? We have a CHP helicopter overhead here as they continue going east or west? Eastbound on Arrow Highway. Which, right at the right? Okay, copy. Continuing doing excessive speeds here, speeds upwards of 90 to 100 miles per hour on a road that cannot be more than 45 miles per hour, I would imagine. That's Arrow Highway that you're looking at right there. He is traveling eastbound with traffic occasionally at these intersections here. He has the green light here, but you see he just weaves through and gets by any traffic in his way, as he's done several times in the last several minutes. Again, a very dangerous pursuit here. Suspects wanted for a very serious crime, a crime that we are trying to gather more details about, apparently within the city limits of Azusa, involving a possible shooting earlier this evening. Again, several people on board this car. Can't quite make out, is that a Kia, Rob? Newer model white sedan, possibly a Kia, continuing eastbound on Arrow Highway. If you can show me, I just want to see if that's CHP. It may be CHP, otherwise it could be, I see him, okay. So there is at least one black and white right behind the suspect here. Traffic not incredibly dense, but still he is seeing some cars. And what's more important here is that he is not even slowing down for any of these intersections. With that said, you can see that one black and white behind him. That is a California Highway Patrol unit through a green light here, weaving through the traffic, making the turn there. Again, driving very erratically and very dangerously as he tries to flee the California Highway Patrol right through a red light there, and continuing at still extreme speed, especially as he goes through these red lights. There goes another one. And now we have that night sun showing. Oh, there it is. That's the crash. There he is, jumping out of the vehicle. 1, 2, and possibly a third suspect jumping out of the vehicle. An innocent vehicle going through the intersection, taking it on the driver's side of the vehicle. We'll come back there in a minute to try and see if anybody was injured. In the meantime, that's the driver you see running through this parking lot at East San Gabriel. That's going to be Arrow Highway. Right off of Arrow Highway is where we are. Let's come around here. Looks like he's in front of a Ross shopping center. Another suspect from that vehicle running behind the alley into the rear of the shopping center. California Highway Patrol making their way into the area here, as well as other law enforcement. This suspect running out of steam here. There's another suspect on the north side of the building. That suspect continuing to walk casually behind the shopping center. Another suspect in front of the shopping center. Can we go ahead and see if maybe they've got him? Did they get him? Or did he go inside? He may have gone inside one of these stores here. Law enforcement descending on the scene, possibly that suspect. Okay, he's on the ground in front of the Ross Shopping Center. That's the driver, I believe, that's now face down on the pavement there. That is a second suspect that you saw a moment ago on the backside, the rear of the shopping center. He has not been taken into custody yet. Surely they are directing law enforcement behind the mall here, but you can see he's continuing to walk behind the Ross as the driver of that crash, the driver of that pursuit vehicle, I should say, is now being taken into custody. As we widen out, you'll be able to see the aftermath of a serious crash. This pursuit coming to a violent end here. 3 people now on the ground. So we've got the driver and a second suspect that went running, the driver being taken into custody, and now 3 additional passengers being taken into custody, a total of 5 people inside that pursuit vehicle. And we'll go back in just a second to see if we can get a look at the car that was struck. It was a violent hit right there at the intersection of Maimone Avenue and Arrow Highway. It's going to be right behind that tree in front of the white vehicle is where we're looking to see. They're presumably calling for an ambulance, I would imagine, although I have not heard that go out just yet. But that darker color vehicle that you'll see coming into the frame here any second, that will be the victim in this case, and hopefully they are okay. Took a very hard hit to the driver's side. And we'll have a better shot here in just a second. They're looking for the other guy. Yeah, it looks like they're trying to direct law enforcement behind the shopping center. Indications that he may have gone into that foliage or possibly trying to get onto the freeway. We saw him walking with our camera right behind that shopping center. A little more to the right, I think, is where I last saw him. He may be hiding out at this point within the bushes, within the shrubs, along that embankment there. That is the 210 freeway. And the shopping center you're looking at is right between the freeway and Arrow Highway. You can see California Highway Patrol starting to, I wouldn't say form a perimeter just yet, but as they arrive on scene, they take up position around the building. This is where that suspect was last seen. Again, 4 suspects being taken into custody, a 5th managing to get away temporarily. We'll see if he pops back up. But again, the driver taken in, 3 others in the back seat also being taken in, under arrest now as this wild pursuit comes to an end. I think that's him. That's the 5th suspect there. That's the 5th suspect. So a total of 5 suspects now in police custody here in Azusa. Actually a little closer to San Dimas as we left Azusa. Again, this was all initiated by the Azusa PD following an apparent shooting in their jurisdiction earlier this evening. That pursuit taking law enforcement onto the freeway, down the 605 at one point, back up in towards the Pasadena area, back on the 210 through Azusa, ending up here in San Dimas, where this pursuit has indeed come to an end.
Yeah, no problem, Christina. West Cienega Avenue in 57.
Yeah.
West Cienega Avenue in the 57.
I think the crash, though, did she want the crash or she want this?
Uh,
Because the crash was over at Maimone and Arrow Highway. Maimone. O-N-E. Again, you're taking a look at the 5th suspect in that pursuit vehicle. 4 taken in, and that 5th one now on his knees next to the shopping center with his hands in the air. He's taken off his shirt. CHP with the suspect at gunpoint. Is that a male or a female? It is a male. Will do. California Highway Patrol carefully taking this 5th suspect into custody with his hands behind his back. Now we'll go ahead and pan over towards the crash scene where this pursuit came to an end next to the shopping center that you see right here along Arrow Highway and the 210 freeway here in San Dimas. You can see that white vehicle that was fleeing police at a very high rate of speed going right through the red light, slamming into that black car, the Kia, slamming into that black car that you see right there. It looks like the passengers and driver are okay. I believe that's them sitting on the curb there as they await for, I would imagine, medical assistance to arrive. But in the meantime, 4 others taken into custody as the investigation begins into this wild pursuit termination, this crash ending. We'll go ahead and play back some video that we shot just a few minutes ago as this pursuit came to an end. You can see him right there slowing down for the intersection through the red light and then hitting the front of that, actually the passenger side of that vehicle, and then coming face to face with another vehicle there. So it was a wild crash. It could have been a whole lot worse. I got to tell you, another split second and that passenger would have taken it squarely in the passenger door. Fortunately, that Kia slamming into the front end of that black car, possibly saving the passenger's life. So a dramatic end here as 5 suspects are now being taken into custody following a shooting in Baldwin Park. Reporting live from Air 7 HD, I'm Chris Christie, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Authorities pursued several suspects in a single vehicle at high speeds on Interstates 210 and 605. They passed through Baldwin Park, Irwindale, and near Pasadena after a report of shots fired at a home in Azusa, San Dimas. The vehicle then struck another vehicle, turning left in front of a Trader Joe's in San Dimas. Several suspects jumped out and fled on foot. At least 5 were arrested within minutes. 3 people, including a child, were in the vehicle struck. Paramedics evaluated them, and none were seriously injured.